How's it going, everybody? This is the Frames and Flames podcast. My name is Brian, and I am joined by my co-host, Max. We are both fire photographers, and we look forward to an amazing show talking about all things fire photography and emergency services related. Just a quick disclaimer, this is not a professional podcast, so you may hear some sneezing or a fan, but please bear with us. Also, this podcast will contain some profane language and have some discussion topics that are not suitable for sensitive viewers. So viewer discretion is advised. With that, enjoy the show. This is the Frames and Flames podcast. Oh God, let me get in the zone here for a second. My brain, I've been studying all day. My brain fucking hurts.
Bring it in. You gotta remember.
Woosah.
Bring it in. We're podcasters.
We're professionals.
That's the fucking intro right there.
That's how we fucking intro everything. We're professionals.
You guys miss us? Welcome to the Frames and Flames podcast. Sorry we're like your dad and just left for a month. We're back.
Yeah, we are back.
Again. We're just going. That's how we're starting this episode.
Okay.
I'm doing the intro this time. Hey everybody. We're back. My name's Max. I run 1076 Media. That is Brian over at 760 Fire Photo. We run this little show called the Frames and Flames podcast. We took a little bit of time off. I've been busy. Been doing some things. But we are back. And what a better time to talk about Mayhem, because it happened a month ago.
Literally a month ago.
So we're going to catch up. This might be a bit of a relaxed episode. But hey, we're all here for some fun. We're going to kick it off with some news as we normally do. I think Brian's got some stuff ready to go. But welcome back, y'all. It's good to be back.
Yeah, I know. I missed it. I know Max missed it. I don't know if he loves you guys as much as I do, because he kept like blowing off recording. But
our schedules were just doing the little...
Dude, I'm in medic school. I'm in school 3 days a week, and I want to die the other 4. So
I'm
it's
just a little bitch. So,
I mean, you're hanging out with bands now. You're the cool videographer.
Cool. Shout out to Town of Trees. They're a local band in the Boise area. Shout out to them. Spent the day recording some music video stuff with them. I worked with them a lot in the past. One of the drummer in the band is a active firefighter. So,
who does he work for?
Take a guess. I'm not gonna dime him out, but take a guess.
Boise.
Yeah. Actually, no. Wait. They publicly did that. We have a video actually that has collaborated with Boise Fire on stuff. And
oh, cool.
Boise Fire has a podcast, by the way, the Mission Strong podcast. The intro to that is a Town of Trees song and is also narrated by Connor. So shout out Town of Trees. That's who cool. I've been hanging out with all day. But anyway.
Okay.
Enough shouting out.
News. Back to the news. There's definitely been some interesting news the last few days. I'll kick it off with the more serious of the two stories so we can close it out with the more fire related. Today, U.S. Special Operations evacuated our embassy in the nation of Sudan. The nation of Sudan has been in a state of civil war, and the United States government made the decision to evacuate all diplomatic personnel. Unfortunately, there are still 16,000 American citizens that are in Sudan. I'm not sure to what extent, either as aid workers or that live there, that have American passports. But President Biden made an address today stating that they are working with those folks to try to get them out safely. However, there are 6,000 U.S. troops at the airbase in Djibouti ready to intervene and get those Americans out if need be.
Sorry, where is this?
They're in Djibouti at your mom's house.
Djibouti?
Yeah, they're at the airbase there.
We're gonna bring it back in.
Bring it back, Max.
Bring it back. Djibouti.
And the more interesting news story that I'm sure a lot of you firefighters and paramedics have seen on fucking Instagram the last few days. The Disneyland Phantasmic Dragon caught fire in Anaheim last night.
Yippee.
Wait, what day is it? Fucking Sunday, the 23rd?
Sunday, yeah.
So on Saturday, April 22nd, 2023, during the final showing of the Phantasmic show at Disneyland Park, the dragon caught fire during the kind of finale of the performance where Mickey fights the dragon, blah, blah, bitty fucking blah.
I don't know anything about this. I haven't been to Disneyland in years.
The Disneyland Resort Fire Department responded to help evacuate guests, as well as Anaheim Fire Rescue, and they were able to quickly...
some good guys.
They are. They were able to quickly extinguish the fire, mainly in part to Anaheim Fire Rescue with their Type 1 engines. Disneyland Fire Rescue was more evacuating cast members.
I feel like they'd be more medical. I didn't even know that Disney had a fire department.
So they have like Type 6s, but nothing that can fight a fire on a 45-foot tall with a gas flame animatronic dragon.
At what point did all the fans realize that like that is no longer the show, and like Mickey just didn't absolutely whoop its ass
with the whole head on fire? Yeah, when the whole head was in flames.
Ooh, that's not good.
Well, the best part is the Mickey actor looks up at the dragon, looks back thinking he just won, looks back up and goes, "Oh shit," nods and drops down on the lift. And I was like, he just pieced the fuck out.
Oh, that shit's fucked.
Oh, I'm out. Oh boy,
that's some Mickey Mouse fucked shit right there.
The pyrotechnics on the dragon that's supposed to happen. Like it's supposed to breathe fire. It's supposed to do that stuff. But
do dragon things.
From what the preliminary statements are saying, it's looking like there was a leak in one of the lines somewhere that just went ploosh and exploded. It didn't explode. I mean, there's videos circulating of them moving the dragon out through the park's main entrance this morning because it's the only place big enough to get it out. And it's pretty well fucked up.
That is the opposite of a call I ran last night.
I saw that. Boo.
Yeah. So let's paint the picture. A tale of two calls, right? A working residential structure fire with flames through the roof and heavy packed smoke inside the structure and occupants trapped versus my stove's doing this kind of funny thing. Guess which was called in, and guess what was the real thing? That was not fun. And also
I have a strange feeling I know.
Let down.
Dude, welcome to Fire and Emergency Services. I've been doing this job long enough to where I'm just like, fuck me. I don't even care anymore.
But like everybody was thinking like this is the first big job of the summer. Like it was ramping up. It was Saturday night. You know how Saturday nights go. And nice soul working structure fire. Get out there, and it took one of the ladders just poking a hole in a wall and hitting it with a dry chem. And was
it in the walls?
Yeah, it was some weird electrical thing. So it's like a single story residence, like old like brick and wood house, kind of typical like older Boise home. And I guess at some point they had added a basement, and that was like technically a separate residence that was like rented out to people.
Oh, like granny flat?
Yeah, kind of. Just like the primary occupants were in the main ground floor, and then there's a basement that was like sublet. So there's just some weird wiring stuff going on, and some issue with the stove. I think they said
probably some DIY shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the details of it, but it was like it was everybody gets there ready to go, and then it's like, oh, there's actually nothing going on. Whoops.
Yeah. So before we kick off the mayhem shenanigans, because we have a lot to talk about, it was a jam-packed weekend.
Insane.
I would be remiss myself if we did not mention this. On Saturday afternoon, the fire departments from around the Treasure Valley area, as well as police departments, gathered in Nyssa across the border in Oregon to honor the life of Corporal Joseph J.J. Johnson of the Nyssa Police Department, who was killed in the line of duty on the 15th of this month.
Yeah.
During a traffic stop. He was a volunteer officer as well as an officer with the
Oregon
Snake
DOC,
River,
I believe.
Yeah, the Oregon Department of Corrections at the Snake River Correctional Institute, as well as a campus safety officer at the College of Idaho. He was a father, and he'd been a police officer with Nyssa since 2018, and he will be dearly missed by all fire departments, the Vail Fire and Ambulance Department and the Payette Fire Department, I believe. Yes, Payette. Held the flag over the procession route with their two truck companies, and law enforcement from around the Treasure Valley participated in his procession.
Yeah.
So rest in peace, Corporal Johnson. Our hearts go out to your family, and we figured we would just mention you before we got started tonight. On that note,
I'm bummed that I couldn't get out there. I had prior commitments and wasn't able to go, but I was actually out shooting the night that it happened and hearing because even in Idaho, I mean it happened in Oregon, but hearing like ISP and even like the word came down to Ada County's dispatch and there was talk here because he was the suspect who thankfully has been apprehended. Get that dirtbag off the streets. Uh,
Didn't they chase him down into Idaho somewhere?
no, I don't think so. There was rumors that he made it across the border, but then they found him. They found him in Nissa, I think.
But I mean, also Nissa. I mean, for those of you that don't know, Nissa and Boise are only like 40 miles apart. They're not very far apart from each other.
We're close to the western side of Idaho. They're like pretty much right on the border. The Utah,
like Nissa and Vail and Ontario and all those places. It's the Treasure Valley. When we say that, it's not a very big area.
No.
It's like here in Grand Junction. It's like Grand Junction, Fruita, Clifton, Palisade. We're all fairly close together.
Yeah. It was. I don't want to say surreal, but it was just kind of a rare occasion to hear that chatter going out.
Yeah, when you hear officer down, it's no joke.
Yeah.
With that note, March Mayhem. We wish we could have Gino here with us tonight, but he had some other commitments with his family.
We'll be sure to get some of the AOTC guys on, get Gino back on at some point, more of the Mayhem cadre on. But
I mean, you and I both know Eddie and Colin and Fulmer and Gino would all be down to jump on here.
Dougie on or
fucking Doogie.
Yeah. Anyway, with that being said,
Mayhem.
Unfortunately, it's just us tonight, but we got to talk about Mayhem. What an absolute weekend it was.
I know. I drove up from Colorado. It was a 9-hour drive for me. I rolled into Boise, got drunk, went to sleep, met Max at the convention center the next day, and we got to it. So the lectures will start on Friday. So the lectures were presented by 3 great presenters. Nick Papa from New Britain, Connecticut. He is a fire captain there, I believe. They're a captain or a BC.
He's
Cody Trestrill from Brothers in Battle. He is a retired fire captain from Portland Fire Rescue. And Kyle Romagus, who is a battalion chief in Texas. Nick Papa did, I think Fundamentals the first 2 engine officer. I think was that what Nick did?
Yeah, it was some engine stuff.
Then Kyle did a great lecture called Cruel Intentions about just kind of hazards of structure fires, kind of taking what you learned at the academy and expanding your thinking, because they don't teach you to, in Kyle's words, they don't teach you to make that push in the academy or fully extinguish the fire because they don't let you in those burn boxes because they got to keep the fires going for the next cruise. And then Cody Trestrill, that was a fantastic lecture.
Really moving too.
Making grabs and not excuses, and understanding that, especially in today's day and age, every structure should be assumed occupied.
Yep.
You search it. If you can get in there, you search it.
Yeah.
And Max has the raw video files of the lectures. Him and I both set up cameras and recorded the entirety of it. And
we'll get that out at some point, talking with obviously Gino, working out the details, but hopefully we'll have that out at some point.
Yeah. Those guys were very passionate. They were fantastic lectures. I know as a young first responder myself, I learned a lot. I know I can't speak for the other 140 other firefighters, EMTs, and paramedics that were there, but I know I learned a lot. I know a lot of the other guys learned a lot. Just talking to Matt, Cavish, and Doogie and Fulmer, they all learned something.
Yeah. The biggest thing too is it was, like I said, it was moving, and there's a lot of passion there. And it's like, not only was it informative, but it was like, there's something special about getting that many people together that share the same passion, and the focus there of just perfecting your craft, being better at what you do. And it was just cool to see. I mean, obviously, whole lot of information. It was a very dense 8 hours, I would say.
I was gassed afterwards.
There was just so much to walk away from and walk away with, not walk away from. Yeah, it's just so much information, so much passion. It's awesome to see. And it obviously, we have to mention we're already planning Mayhem next year for 2024.
Fuck yeah, we already are planning that.
It's gonna be bigger and better. So to those of you that are viewers of our content, obviously We are kind of almost like Fool's in-house media team at this point. But as an extension of Fool's, we want to reach out and say if you guys have any suggestions, ideas, or people you want to see at Mayhem, let us know. We can pass it on to Gino. Let Gino know, because this thing's gonna be bigger and better next year. It was
I know Gino's
insane
got
this
some.
year.
He's already got some bangers already lined
Oh,
up,
yeah.
and I'm like, fuck, dude. I told
It's
him I was like, we're gonna
already
need to bring
better.
in more photographers.
This year was insane, and already next year is going to be better. So start thinking about what you want to see. Obviously, let Gino, let us know what you want to see, and start planning because you do not want to miss it next year.
Yeah, Gino, we had 142 firefighters from 10 states and Canada there this year.
International.
Including cadre and volunteers. I think there was 156, 157 people there.
Yeah.
Well,
it's crazy that like a single class number was bigger than last year's total attendance.
Yeah, and I mean, huge thank you to the Nampa Fire Department in Idaho.
Yes.
They loaned out their training center for us. I say us, Max and I were just kind of there taking pictures, but for the event, it was fantastic. They let us use the burn box, the training tower, the whole grounds, their training apparatus.
2 engines in a truck.
It was a fantastic weekend, and a big shout out to Nampa firefighter Drew Olson. That dude put in some fucking work building some fantastic props.
His props were props to him for his props.
Yeah, and then again, awesome. A huge shout out to Gino. Like, the man is the godfather of the conference, and he was running around like a chicken with his head cut off, like making sure everything was perfect and everybody was having fun. Especially on burn day. Burn day, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Burn day got a little spicy.
Yeah, it seriously was a fantastic weekend, and if you are a firefighter anywhere in the country, do yourself
anywhere in the world,
anywhere in the world at this point, Canada, Mexico, or somewhere else, who knows?
Scotland. For my Euro boys, I hate to tell you, if you bring a Euro helmet, we love you, but we will make fun of you.
Do yourself a favor, get to Mayhem next year. It's just like I said, the passion there, the passion and the spirit with everybody. Just there to have some fun and do better. And
like, I knew it was going to be a banger of a conference, but I did not expect what we ran into. Like,
it was insane.
I expected us. I mean, Gino obviously hangs out with us. He's one of my closest friends. But all of the cadre were super welcoming for us. They were giving us suggestions, like telling us when they were going to do cool stuff, especially Jason. I mean, Jason Fulmer.
Shout out to Jason.
Jason Fulmer, Colin Ward, Eddie Ivey, Kyle Romagus, Chris Goodnight, fucking Doogie, Jerry Hollenbag, all the burn guys.
Yeah.
There's a lot more that I probably just can't remember their names because I've been studying drug cards for paramedic school all day. So my brain isn't working, but it was a fantastic group of dudes. I know I hung out at the burn building kind of most of the time for burn day.
Yeah.
Because I was doing Brian things.
Yeah.
And it was just fantastic. I mean, they were making some fantastic fires. They were big. They were hot. They were smoky. They were doing things not only to have a fun conference, but they were doing things to teach the students, because a lot of our students from Idaho were from rural volunteer departments like Sand Hollow, Vale. I think there was a couple of dudes from Melba there.
Yeah. It's just something where you just don't have the opportunity to do it at your home. It's just special being able to do this. Obviously, when we get this many people together, you're able to do bigger and better things, and it's opportunity. Like there were guys there that were taking the AOTC classes, were focused on burning, and made comments about having never forced doors before, and they got him a door prop, and in 10 minutes, these guys were swinging and popping doors like they've been doing it their whole lives.
Carson was putting in work.
Yeah, that clip I got of him running up, because I saw him do it, and I'm just hauling ass to get to him, and it looks sweet.
It was the volunteer guys that were there, the paid guys that were there. We had guys from departments that have heavy fire loads, like Napa, California. We had guys from Central Pierce, Washington.
And those two groups, by the way, they were big groups, at least 6 people each, I think.
I got a group shot of the Central Pierce guys. I'll tell you how many of them there were.
Yeah, these departments, that's the cool thing, is departments were organizing stuff and sending groups. It was cool seeing there were a couple department rigs that came up just like fleet cars and seeing, vans and Suburbans and stuff parked from places we've never heard of. It was awesome seeing that spread and just, all the diversity in people there and the spread and just everybody's there for the same mission. Doesn't matter what the back of your coat says, doesn't matter what color uniform you got on. Everybody's there to do the same thing, and it was just awesome to see.
Like there was 7 guys there from Central Pierce. Was 5 or 6 guys there from Twin Falls. There was at least 7 there from Napa.
Yeah.
There was dudes there from Sacramento, Lone Peak. There was dudes from, let's see, the states. It was Utah, Montana, California, Connecticut, Idaho, Oregon, Texas.
Wisconsin was the farthest one, right?
Wisconsin.
I think that is technically the farthest duration. Farther distance than the Canada guys. But
was that? Did I say Montana too?
Yeah, you said Montana.
I mean, like Eddie Ivy came down from Montana.
Yep. You were fucking dinging.
Sorry, my buddy Kyle's texting me. It's one of my brother's old army buddies.
Yeah,
but it was such a fantastic day. Like I didn't spend a whole lot of time over at the VES class. I got some great shots of Cody Trestriel and his guys just dropping knowledge. Like
we hit a lot of the other classes on Saturday. For those that don't know, Friday was that lecture day, and then Saturday, Sunday were the hot days. Sunday was the live fire burn day. So we knew going into it that a lot of our focus on Sunday was going to be the live fire. So we did our best to cover a lot of the other classes the first day. I still went and did some rounds on Sunday covering everything else. Like Brass Shamrock, they were doing ladders on Saturday and then switched up and doing forcible entry on Sunday.
I mean, for me, Max, I took probably 15,000 photos. But the way I was shooting, I produced about 200. Just reason being is I was shooting what's called a high speed continuous. Plus, I was taking like 200 photos of one singular action. So I was getting a ton of stuff on Saturday. And Max was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Hanging out. I'm not really doing much right now."
Yeah. Which hot tip for all you photographers out there, if you don't know, I know it's a pretty common thing like for sports photographers and stuff, but if your camera does have a burst mode or a continuous, set that up. And then what that means is we go out and say, some action is like someone moving their arm like this. You depending on your shutter speed and what you're doing, it is like capturing multiple frames in that action. You just hold the shutter down. And then instead of having one picture and it might be like an iffy pose, you get individual stills on all of that. So it's something that we both do, and it's super useful because you don't have to worry about missing the right moment. Just hold it down. Obviously, you're focused on composition, that kind of stuff. But then during that action, fire that thing off and you get 15, 20, 30, 40 stills, and you can choose the right action.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic the fact that we can do that, especially with mine, because I was shooting Canon, the Canon EOS R5 primarily, and the R6. And we had a DJI Phantom, a DJI Mavic Zoom 2. We had Max's Sony. We had GoPros everywhere.
Yeah,
we had our helmet cameras, helmet cameras for the guys.
Which, by the way, if you have not seen the content that we've been putting out yet, we've got the image gallery up on your page and the Fool's page as well. And then also, we have the 12-minute long after movie, which I put together. That is on my YouTube channel. You can go check that out. It's also linked on our stuff. I
know Gino posted it in the Fool's group on Facebook.
Yep.
I
would recommend.
I watched it. I had never seen it before Max released it. I'm just telling you guys, I just dumped all the video footage that I had on his laptop.
Yeah.
I had never seen it. It turned out fantastic. It really did the conference justice. Huge shout out to Max and all the work he put in for that, because it looks like a lot of sleepless nights. I mean, for me, with paramedic school, I was kind of having to run and edit stuff as we went, but Max got a little more time to take some more care in doing what he did. I mean, I think my shit turned out good, but Max's video turned out fantastic. Next year, we are already planning on maybe having more photographers come with us, because there's talk of multiple locations for lecture days, more classes, more firefighters. So it's going to be a lot more running around.
Which also, if you guys are photographers and are kind of interested, hit us up, shoot us a DM or something, and maybe we can start talking about next year. So just throwing that out
there. We will we'll let you know kind of what our requirements are. because we do have, now that we know what we're expecting.
Yeah.
We probably will have requirements as far as PPE and semi-knowledge.
That's purely keep everybody safe. The biggest thing though is because we are using department facilities and that kind of thing may have their own rules. And we got to make sure that everybody's safe and that we are all well represented and that we're doing the fools in the conference justice. And it's a safety thing. But yeah, it takes time, but that's why we're talking about it now. I mean, we got a year to go, but hit us up if you want to come out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, no matter what we say, we still got to run all the information by Gino.
Yep.
I mean, he's going to tell us that he trusts us because he does, but he's
we're just
the boss.
Just the guys with cameras.
He gets the final say. But if you are interested, let us know. Send me a DM at 760 Fire Photo on Instagram, or send Max a DM at 1076 Media on Instagram. We'll give you, I mean, I'll probably write it up in a couple of weeks, like a application, quote unquote.
Yeah. We're not trying to be dicks about it. It's just
we just want to know where everybody's coming from, kind of if you have to travel in, what gear you're going to bring with you, if you have any experience on active emergency incidents, if you have any PPE that we might need to provide you. Like, it's just for the fact of we want you there and we want to grow the fire photography community, but we want to do it right. We want to do it safe.
We're not out here.
It's like Mike Philo once told me. He's like, if you cannot be safe and act and do it right, you don't belong on a fire ground.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, shit happens, but just keep your head on straight. But
yeah, it's like situational awareness. Know what's going on, know what's around you, and think ahead of what might happen. That's the biggest piece of advice I can give somebody. I mean, I haven't shot on a fire scene in a while, just because of school. I am getting rusty. Getting fucking old.
Can hear everybody.
You want to come do cardiology for me?
Everybody past their 30s shaking their fists at us.
I call Gino old all the time. It's great.
Yeah. I just got
Gino's only 34.
Got a new idea for a merch line for me. Do some Goober Patrol merch.
Oh my god.
I
will say I did have a pretty big goober moment. Fucking I had a pretty big goober moment. Eddie and I were fucking talking about it when my fucking chin strap got caught on my regulator. You weren't over there for that. I was fucking putting my mask on because I was about to go in.
Yeah.
And I put my helmet on and Eddie goes, bro, your chin strap's caught. I'm like, what? I'm trying to pull it over my regulator. And I'm like, fuck me. And Eddie and Goodnight are just fucking laughing. Then Fulmer comes out and goes, what the fuck are you doing?
The clip I got of Colin coming out and he's like, my headband just exploded. That was fucking awesome.
I know. I was standing there when he did it, and fucking Fulmer goes, let me make sure I still have an ear.
Yeah. That clip is in the after movie, by the way. Go check it out.
And you guys can hear me laughing in that clip.
Yeah. We all just busted out laughing when Fulmer's like, sure, I still have an ear. Because that was one of the fires where it just got really hot. But these guys, the ambassadors of the craft guys, were pretty much acting as safety officers for the burns. So they were kind of in charge of facilitating it, making sure that the students were getting through safe and getting through properly. They were also in charge of fueling that fire and keeping it going. So they were in there probably 2/3 out of the day. They were in that burn box. For those that don't know what that type of scenario is like, there's big like Connex shipping containers stacked in there. They basically making a facility that they can burn in, but it gets hot in there. So thankfully,
I can tell you for a fact, Max did not go inside.
No.
I did.
Next year.
It got hot.
Yeah.
And for the record, for those of you that are wondering, I was in turnouts. I was on air. I did have a helmet on. We were following all NFPA safety regulations.
Yep.
For materials that could be burned and people going inside the burn box. Don't worry, nobody was doing anything untoward. It was very safe. Gino even had a paramedic on site that was ready to assist if anybody got hurt.
Yep.
And as far as I talked to Laureen a little bit, and she even said the most she got was a cut, and it was like a Band-Aid cut. It wasn't even anything big.
No.
So it was a very safe, very fun weekend.
Yeah. As far as like PPE goes for us, obviously we had vests on and identifiers, which we have talked about extensively in the past, is be identifiable. So we had shit on so that we didn't just look like Joe Schmo walking off the street. We were identifiable with stuff that said either our names or like photographer. And then the other thing is anytime we were close to action, if you can call it that. We had our helmets on and we were using proper PPE. We had boots on, that kind of thing. You don't show up wearing flip-flops.
I mean, even Richard Ragsdale, like,
yeah,
he's a racetrack photographer, so he's very rare. He's not on fire scenes very often, and he was even wearing a bright ass yellow reflective jacket, like so people knew who he was and where he was at.
Yeah. But yeah,
it was really fun getting to work with him. Like he was he was fucking funny.
Yeah, Ragsdale's cool. Shout out to him.
Some of his photos turned out great. I mean,
yeah.
Those were fantastic.
Yeah, it was just a banger weekend.
I mean, let's get into Saturday. So Saturday morning, I think we got there around what, 7:15ish, 7:30.
Yeah, we got there early. Because we have. I'll post. I'm still gonna do a kind of a behind the scenes because I have footage that I have so much. I have so much footage. Yeah. We have stuff that we can still put out, but we had a little station. Those of you that saw our stories during the weekend, we'll put more stuff out so you guys can see what it was. But we had a total battle station set up. You brought up that easy up, tables, chairs. We had power stations. We literally had a tent set up with our stuff. So we had our laptops set up so we could dump footage. We could rapid charge everything. We had cameras set up everywhere. We literally had our battle station for the weekend. So showed up early to set that thing up on Saturday.
I remember Gino came up and he was like, how much stuff did you fucking bring?
The collective answer, especially between both of us, was too much. But
yeah, but the problem is you could at least go home if you had to and get stuff. I had to haul all that shit up from Colorado.
Yeah. I did pretty much pack to be out there the whole time. There was some stuff I could have brought, but it was pretty badass setup that we had.
I mean, and then so the morning started obviously with the Pledge of Allegiance and the opening benediction. Cody Terrestrial did that both days. Safety brief from Gino. Gino kind of let everybody know what the day was going to be doing and kind of who we were. Yeah. I mean, I know they'd all seen us. A lot of them have heard of us. A lot of them have seen us before.
Yeah. There's guys that, I mean, Saturday morning, the concept of an emergency photographer was completely foreign to them. And then by Saturday at lunch, they were coming up to our tent, asking us questions, that kind of stuff, which that's also cool to see. But
yeah, I mean, it was a great day.
Yeah.
So the morning started off. Cody and his guys were doing a big lecture on their vent enter search class. Cody's big mantra of the weekend was, if there are bedrooms, there are victims, 24/7, 365. Always assume it.
Yep.
I don't know who she was, but one of the Brothers in Battle guys' spouses was there. She was acting as a victim to be pulled out of a second floor window.
Yeah.
The whole time, both days, she was screaming, throwing baby dolls. Like it was.
She was.
You caught her on the drone.
Yeah, she was there to challenge the firefighters and be unexpected.
Like we could put baby dolls in the building all day long, but when you get an actual live person in there,
because that the dimensions and the physical challenges of moving a person, and there were times where she would hold on to stuff, she would grab the ladder, she'd grab like their coats or their gear in weird places. There were times where they'd take her down and she says, I got a kid up there still. Like, okay, let's go get the baby. She starts climbing back up the ladder. Like she was there to challenge them and to be unexpected. And I got a lot of that on video, which I feel like this is kind of like this podcast is the book and then the after movie is the movie. So for those of you listening, you're reading the book and then go see the movie after.
A really cool shot. Matt caught it on my drone. Was the baby drop, but it wasn't like they had already set up the ladders. They were running up, set up the ladder. One of them, I think, had the 16-footer in his hand with his New York hook. Up. Dropped it, slid, and grabbed the baby as it fell.
Because she's doing that, help, like, fire. They're running up, and she just throws this baby. Just throws it out the window, and he caught it like a total stud.
Slide tackle caught this baby doll, and we were both standing back by the burn box with Jason, like, what the fuck did we just watch?
Yeah, it was awesome. There was a lot of cool shit happening, which seriously, if you haven't seen the video, just go watch it again, please.
But we were using a lot of drones. Poor Gino, we were fucking grabbing him and making him talk to us when he was busy.
Yeah, which we could have used even more interviews.
I mean, how did Donnie's turn out? I never saw it.
It's good. I'm working on the next project. The after movie was basically a highlight and a recap of this is god damn this fucking shit's making me burp. The after movie was basically a showcase of all the cool stuff that happened. It's fast, it's actiony. Um, the next project that I'm working on, it will be a series of videos that is a deep dive into each of the specific stations and classes. So have one on Cody's team doing VES, have one on the Burns, have one on Brass Shamrock, on Elkhart. Each video will be more focused and a deep dive. So that's something to look forward to. But we were able to snag some of the instructors and have them talk about things, kind of like a brief rundown of what they are doing there. Because there's a lot of talent and a lot of brains that were there presenting these courses.
I mean, I think Gino said, I think collectively there was like 300 or 400 years of fire service experience among the cadre from the weekend.
Yeah.
And that's from everyone. I know Cody Trestrail got his start out at the FDNY. And then he went over to Portland on the West Coast. Donnie, I don't know where Matt Donnie's from. I think he's from California. Jason Fulmer's from California. Doogie's from California. Jerry Hollenbeck, I think, is from Nevada.
We had Greenwood from right here in Boise.
Yeah, we had Captain Greenwood from Boise. We had...
well, there were a lot of brothers.
We had Steve Reno and Matson from Seattle. Like, there was a wealth of knowledge from all over the nation because for those of you that aren't firefighters or EMTs or paramedics or first responders at all, our jobs may be the same no matter where you go, but the way we do them and the way we are allowed to do them based on our protocols is a vast difference. Like here in Idaho as an EMT, I can push Zofran. I can do things like give IV epinephrine. I can start IVs. I can do eye gels. Whereas in California, I can barely give Narcan via intranasal. Like it's a vast difference of what we can do and how we can do it and how our tactics have changed.
Yep.
Like even Kyle down in Texas, he was like, yeah, we fight fucking big open field fires all the time. It's nothing new for me.
Yeah. It's just cool to see.
But I mean, Saturday, Steve Reno and Battalion Chief Matson, they started the day off with their classroom lecture on ladders, laddering buildings that are actively spitting fire out at you, laddering under power lines, laddering multi-stories, all the different ways you could deploy ladders off an engine or a truck, all the different ways you can throw a ladder, single man shoulder carries, multi-man carries. Like they were throwing 16s, 10s, 24s, 35s. They were throwing all kinds of stuff. Second day, they were doing forcible entry. They were doing a lot of forcing with Halligans and irons, and they were doing a lot of cutting. They were doing breaking chains. They were doing busting through rebar. They were doing all kinds of stuff at their station. What was cool was when I was kind of chilling out because I'm old and my back hurts all the time. Thank you, fat people.
Yeah.
I was at our tent watching, and I could see them doing it, and they were just putting in reps, just cutting over and over and over and over again.
Also, shout out to Liquid Death for that.
Liquid Death water.
By the way, thank you to Liquid Death for.
Did they post that?
They reposted. I think they reposted. Shout out to Liquid Death for those of you who don't know. It's a sparkling water brand, just a water brand in general. They have a lot of different flavors, sparkling, flat, bunch of different stuff. And they actually sponsored us for the weekend, so we got a huge supply of Liquid Death. For the weekend, so shout out to them.
I think he still has some.
Yeah, it's some good stuff. I know we went through a lot on Friday just sitting around, and there was still some out on the rest of the weekend. But part of that was we had to get some brand integration with Liquid Death out there on the fireground. So I took probably half an hour and went out and shot some product photos, just some typical brand integration stuff, something that I'm a little familiar with. And just I got one shot of one of the Liquid Death cans sitting on the ground, and I laid flat on the ground to get this angle and shot up at some of the guys using a big
K12 rotary saw,
big K12 saw, chopping rebar and just spitting sparks down behind the can. It looks awesome, and it's honestly one of my favorite shots I got from the weekend. But
I mean, overall, the weekend was fantastic. I mean, Saturday, day one, we talked about a little bit about the VES class. That really didn't change much throughout the 2 days. They were adding a lot of more elements inside the towers that we kind of weren't at.
Just because it's
our cameras couldn't
smoke,
see shit
and it's
in there.
supposed to be a burning building, so we couldn't see shit, and we were in the way. I went up for a little bit. I think I maybe spent 30-40 minutes up there.
We even made Cody laugh. We came out and we go, our cameras can't see shit in there, dude. And he goes, good. That's the point.
Dark as fuck in there. They did their job. But I got a lot of good stuff. Just like poking through the windows and that kind of stuff. But
day one for the Masters of the Craft class, that was fundamentals of the first IDAHO'Sman. That was taught by Jason Fulmer and the man himself, Gino Galli, and then Kyle Romagus. So Jason and Gino were teaching kind of flowing while moving, water mapping, moving down hallways, fire popping up behind you while you're moving, flowing around corners. And then on the other side of the Connex buildings, Kyle Romagus was teaching initial entry through the structure, pushing upstairs, pushing to the seat of the fire, flowing over banisters, getting your hose around stuff. I got sprayed a couple times. I think Max got sprayed once. Jason got nailed in the side of the head. Gino got nailed. And then there's Matt. Oh, Matt.
Yep. If you're good friends to this right now, we love you, buddy.
One of our good friends, Matt. I love you, buddy. But Max, you please need to, when we edit this podcast and put it out, please include the getting sprayed in the face into the video.
We'll put that as a little special surprise for Flames and Flames.
Matt Kabush, he is, I really hope I said his last name right. I have been trying to figure out how to pronounce it forever.
Sorry, buddy. Can you send us a video of you saying
like your last name so we actually can pronounce it right from now on?
We're terrible friends.
So Matt and his brother are both firefighters. His brother is, his twin brother, weirdly enough, is a firefighter in Melba. And Matt is a dual firefighter in Melba and in Vail, Oregon. And Matt was there from Vail, Oregon with his captain, Austin Finling.
Awesome guy as well.
Austin was fun. I had met him at their ladder truck push-in, but this was the first time I'd really gotten to interact with him. And Matt tried to get Gino and didn't realize who he was messing with. And Gino calls him over. He's sitting talking with us, and Fulmer screams back wall, and the guys turn around, and Matt gets sprayed in the side of the face.
You would have thought it's scripted. I mean, that
it was perfect.
It was beautiful. Gino, thank you for that. You gave me probably one of the best laughs I had all day.
That was the prank of the day. I mean, it was fantastic.
Probably 20 people saw that and just folding over laughing. Matt got,
and even Matt, like, he took it like a champ. Like, he folded over laughing with the rest of us. I mean,
yeah.
And in the fire service,
Matt, we love you.
Those of you just getting into it, or for those like Max who are kind of on the outside, well, sort of.
Yeah.
If we're not making fun of you or we're not messing with you, we don't like you. Like, Gino was fucking with me half the weekend.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you Max has at least one or two clips where Gino's trying to get my attention and he says, Brian, boner.
Yeah. He's trying to get Boner's attention.
And he's trying to get my attention, and because my last name is Bonner, it looks like Boner.
Clearly I laughed at, what was it, Djibouti or whatever it was.
Oh my God. Yeah. Because we're fucking children. We're man children.
12-year-olds.
And I mean, Jason comes out one day and he goes, fucking cold. I'm like, well, yeah, you're soaking wet. And he goes, no shit.
Yeah. Also, what the fuck was that weather? We got snowed on.
I know. We were all like, what the hell?
It was snowing. It was like 60 degrees and sunny, and then typical Idaho.
Fucking 29 degrees and snowing.
And it was cold. Saturday afternoon was freezing.
I know. I looked at Gino. I was like, I'm going inside. Like, fuck this shit.
Cold. Yeah. After lunch, it got a little nippy out.
Thankfully, the AOTC guys and the Brothers in Battle guys set up some burn barrels, and we were lighting some pallets on fire so the guys could keep warm and dry off. Literally
just drying off their gear.
And it was a great day. I mean, did they force any doors on the first day at the fundamentals class?
I think so, yeah, because they were doing the chainsaw cutting on that second floor. They were doing that towards the end of the day.
No, at the Ambassadors of the Craft class. I know at Brothers of
Oh,
Battle they were cutting.
yeah, they were forcing. I think. Gino,
No, they weren't
correct me if
forcing
I'm
till
wrong.
Sunday.
You sure? They
No, they
had
didn't force till Sunday.
They
I
might have
think
been
that
just
door prop is just
swinging them
there.
open. Yeah, yeah. They might not have been forcing, just knocking them open.
So day 2, the day everybody wants to hear about,
the spicy day,
is the spicy day when things got a little hot. So I picked Max up at 6:30. We both
because we carpooled to conserve. I don't know. It's just
fuel. I think
easier.
Because I was staying in downtown Boise.
Yeah. Wait,
just for the record,
a couple minutes.
Shout out to the Grove Hotel in downtown Boise. That place was fucking awesome. Like, their room service was great. I had a ton of camera gear and some firearms in my room because I had lived in Idaho, so I was still kind of taking some stuff down with me from my move. Their housekeeping staff was great. Their management staff was fantastic.
Yeah, like, they took care of you, that's for sure.
The restaurant there, oh my God.
Next year, we actually need to record some podcast stuff. Like, there's so much stuff that at the end of the weekend, we need to do this next year. Like, there's so much stuff that we want to do for next year.
Like, I'm already talking with Gino about next year. I know Max probably is.
Yep.
Like,
big things are happening.
Gino is getting some, I'm not going to say names, and I'm not going to confirm or deny any particular classes that are happening. But Gino is reaching out to and talking with some fire service legends.
It's going to be big.
To come out for next year. Tons of lectures, tons of hands-on classes. It was, dude, I don't have words for the weekend. And you know me, I talk a lot.
Yeah. One of those things where, like, on the drive home Sunday night when it was done, you know, we had gotten everything packed up and we're on the drive back home. Both of us were just like, A, what just happened? And B, that was the best weekend we have ever had.
Like, I was leaving for Colorado the next day.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to kind of hang out and just decompress, which maybe we'll try to make it happen next year. There's just so much stuff we want to do next year.
Dude, if I wasn't in school, I would have come up Wednesday. I would have stayed till Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was.
Yeah.
But paramedic school, for those of you that are paramedics, you know, medic school is no joke.
Yeah. It almost don't have words for it. It was so physically challenging, and this is the way I described it, trying to explain how it was. It was physical, and we were just standing around taking pictures. We're not in it like some of the other guys. It was one of the most physically challenging times, and also emotionally and just soul fulfilling. It just felt right making it happen. So,
well, and it reminded me, I mean, I've been an EMT for about 3 years now, and I've worked in a couple different states. I'm now a paramedic student here in Colorado. I've been a fire photographer for 4 or 5 years now. God, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Again, worked in a couple different states, and it reminded me why I do both of my jobs. Like, it's a real fulfilling thing to see brothers and sisters from across the nation, and across the world even, show up to be a part of this. Weirdly enough, we had 4 female firefighters there. Did not expect that at all.
Yeah. Ton of badasses.
And there are some real badass women in the fire service, like, goddamn.
Yep.
Even Lorene, like, when she got in on a couple of the evolutions, I looked around, I was like, oh, hey.
Yeah. For those that didn't know, she was the medic that was there.
Yeah, she was a paramedic and she was there with us. She was a blast to hang out with. I mean, Gino ran into a dude that he grew up with.
Yep. We got that prom pose.
Oh, it's on my phone. I'm looking at it right now.
It's good. It, like Brian was saying, it was just a killer weekend. It was awesome. You just don't have words for it. So you guys really, if you missed it this year, or if you were on the fence about it, next year is going to be bigger and better. Just do yourself a favor and get there. Plus, you can get some pretty killer shots of you. So,
well, and I mean, a really good thing too about Friday is we raised a lot of money for Jason Fulmer.
Yes.
Unfortunately, lost his father, who was a firefighter as well for, I think Jason said, close to 40 years.
Yeah, something like that.
And we, I say we, Gino dedicated the raffle this year to his memory, and the funds went to the training scholarship that Chief Ed Fulmer, in memory of Chief Ed Fulmer, that Jason had started in his name to kind of pay for firefighters that couldn't really afford to go to conferences like this.
Yeah.
And we raised a damn good amount of money. A couple grand, I think, at least. Yeah. And Jason kind of shared some things about his dad at the lecture day.
Yep.
In the opening statements, and it was a really great day. I mean, Jason was not what I expected. I figured Jason was gonna be a hard, grizzled firefighter. He was the funniest fucking dude at the whole conference.
Cracking stuff left and right.
I mean, Fulmer looks at me one day and goes, "Hey, Brian." I'm like, "What's up, Jason?" He goes, "Fuck you." I'm like, "Fuck you too."
Just happens.
I mean, that's the brotherhood though. Like we.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm not even a firefighter, and like we're cracking jokes, talking shit to each other, laughing.
Yeah.
Like even around the back of the burn box, like that nobody saw, us, Goodnight, Eddie, Colin, Ragsdale, like we were all back there just laughing our asses off.
Yeah, just some good times.
And then Gino brought his wife and daughter back there. We were like, be cool.
Yeah, clean up, boys. But it was.
And then there's another fire conference in June that Eddie Ivy is hosting, the Big Sky Fire Conference in Montana. I'm saying this because they have it on their website. The Big Sky and Bozeman Fire Departments have nothing to do with the Big Sky Fire Conference. Just putting that out there, but it is. Eddie is putting that on, and the 406 Fools are putting that on, and it's going to be a great conference. I don't know if I'll be able to get up there. I hope Max can. We were both invited. Eddie was a fantastic dude. He was funny as hell.
Yeah.
And then I know in October, I'll be trying to head down to Moab, Utah, which is about an hour and a half-ish west of me.
I'll try to make it happen.
For Colin's conference.
Right after my birthday, so.
I know Ambassadors of the Craft will be teaching at both. I think Gino will be teaching in Moab. I don't know if he'll be teaching in Big Sky, but I think he might be. But it's going to be a fantastic couple of conferences. I'd like to see that. I like that March Mayhem is spawning all these smaller conferences that are enhancing the brotherhood and like building the craft and honing knowledge and honing skills and teaching new skills.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, I mean, this is way off topic. Yesterday, I was at the Lower Valley Professional Firefighters Local 5265.
I was going to ask how your cornhole
charity cornhole tournament went. My team lost. The team that I entered, they came in like 20th out of 33.
Yikes.
It wasn't terrible.
Pick up your cornhole game, dude.
I wasn't playing. I was taking pictures. It was my mom and my stepdad. They suck. But I appreciate. I sponsored the tournament. I was one of the many sponsors from local businesses here in town. And it was great. It was going to a great cause for firefighter wellness. And I really appreciate my parents like stepping up and playing in the cornhole tournament because it was just a fun day. The beer garden was great. I could tell you I drank way too many of them. Shout out to the Lower Valley Firefighters here in Fruita, Colorado. They were there. They were hosting the event. They were putting on a great show. And even the on-duty crews came and said, "What's up?" It was fantastic. I got to see a lot of people that I go to school with. I got to see a lot of people that I've known since I was a kid. And it was just overall a fun day. I don't know how much they raised. I'll have to ask them how much they raised for the charity. But it was just a great afternoon. It was great to see the community kind of get behind their local firefighters.
Yeah.
But back to Mayhem, day 2. I talked to the Elkhart guys a little bit. They were doing what's called brass tacks and harder facts, which is a class that they put on.
Really good program, by the way.
It was like knowing your flow from the pump to the nozzle, every different kind of nozzle. They had a whole pickup truck bed full of different.
Truck is awesome.
Different Elkhart nozzles, from floor above, floor below nozzles, horizontal void space nozzles, piercing nozzles, like ground monitors. They had all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, their pickup is a super beautiful truck. It has a whole like slide out bed rack, and no joke, the entire like you look at like Hollywood like super villain like gun layers where they open the doors up and it's just like firearms.
You mean like my garage?
Yeah. Just the stereotypical like floor to ceiling like doors open up and just like firearms everywhere. Imagine that, but nozzles in a pickup truck. It was it's a super sweet rig. But
It was a
those
nozzleman's
guys,
wet dream.
they just ton of knowledge, ton of expertise, and another thing, a lot of these guys, like there were stuff there that I've never seen in person, and just very very niche equipment, and you had the opportunity to learn on it and play with it.
I mean, everybody's seen a ground monitor. Most engines have them.
Yeah.
I have never seen in my life a horror. I've seen them obviously in textbooks and on Instagram and stuff like that, but I have never seen a floor above, or somewhat might know it as a parapet nozzle.
Yeah.
Or as a horizontal dual section void space nozzle. That's a fantastic piece of equipment. I got to watch them kind of play with that a little bit. I got wet a couple times because of it.
Yep. Same thing with the floor below nozzle. Had a little issue aiming that sometimes, and
Putting out the burn barrel.
Yeah. Again, watch the after movie on my YouTube channel for reference of what we're talking about. It's
Is them putting out the burn barrel on there?
Not the shot of them putting the burn barrel out, but you can see them using it. It's these nozzles, floor above and floor below, where basically it's a giant like hook shaped nozzle. You put
Think
it
of a
out
fish
the
hook.
window. Yeah, basically a fish hook shaped nozzle. You stick it out the window, and it either shoots up or below at the floor above or below you. So
Think of the
cool
mutant
stuff,
love child between a fish hook and a hockey stick.
that
Same
squirts
concept.
water.
It's basically a straight pipe with big ass fucking handles on either side of it.
Yeah.
And a shallow inward curve on the outside with a standard nozzle tip.
Yeah.
That you can flow with and control from the base.
Either
and you
above
can hit
or below.
up over a parapet on a top floor. You can get into a floor above, floor below in a multi-story apartment building, or even in a multi-story residential if you can't advance upstairs.
Yeah.
They had the standard ground monitors that Elkhart makes with the stackable tips. Those were fantastic. They had all their standard smooth bores, all their combination nozzles were out there.
Yeah.
One thing, I don't know if the Brothers of Battle guys did this. Did Greenwood have them humping hose up those ladders to get in once they got in there?
I don't think so. It was purely search.
Did you see one of Greenwood's firefighters just got firefighter of the year?
Yeah. I know Vesith really well. He's an awesome guy. Same shift as Greenwood. Obviously, Greenwood nominated him.
Isn't Greenwood his captain?
Yes.
Or is he one of the truck guys?
Engine. No, he's on the engine. Engine 4 B shift, I believe. Or no, A shift. Fuck, I should know this. Anyway,
I mean, Max is a little loyal to his Boise guys, but my boys Caldwell C shift.
Hey,
always.
I've made it out to Caldwell a couple times.
I will give you that. You made it out. You saw the truck get pushed in.
I caught it on a job. A pretty good one too. That
was a pretty ripping job. Like,
yeah.
Did you see the ones that Sarah got of Drew and Colton at that multiple shed fire the other day on Caldwell's Instagram?
Yeah.
Those were fantastic photos. Big shout out to Sarah Lowe with Caldwell Fire. She's their administrative specialist, and she's also she's their kind of their department photographer.
The closest thing to a PIO they have.
Which she has been putting out some fantastic content the last few months. I know in my absence and Max being in Ada County, and
it was a far drive when something's on fire.
That's why you got to move to Nampa, dude. It's closer to everything.
Jobs.
Where I lived in Nampa off Idaho Center, I could get to anywhere in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Especially the way I drive.
Yeah, I was waiting for that comment.
Max got a firsthand look at how I drive.
I've seen you drive before when we've staged it other places.
No, you saw me drive away.
I kept up, motherfucker. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff happening lately. A lot of good stuff gonna happen in the future.
Once I'm done with paramedic school, hopefully I'm going to the fire academy afterwards. So my sanity notwithstanding, I'll probably have gray hair by the time.
Yeah, that's a little bit more fun.
Goddamn,
a little bit more fun.
But I mean, the conference was fantastic. I couldn't have been happier with how the product turned out. I mean, I really hope Gino and the guys were. I know Max was impressed. I mean, we were fucking exhausted at the end of the day.
We were running for 3 days straight, getting that stuff done. But I'm super proud of the work that I did. Super proud of the work you did. Just insanely happy overall with how it went.
Like we made great friends. We made. We built new relationships, and hopefully we'll see a lot of those guys back there next year. I know for a fact the departments that sent multiple guys. We had the Midstar Fire District, Meridian sent a couple guys. Nampa did with Drew and with Metzi.
Yep.
Then we had Lone Peak, Rock Creek, Central Pierce, East Pierce,
Napa.
Boise. Let's see, Caldwell with Chase and Spangler.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's probably 25, 30 departments there at least represented.
With multiple people. But,
it was one for the books.
Yep.
I mean, Mayhem was something else.
Words for it. Yeah.
I just don't. I mean, I went right back into paramedic school and I really haven't had a chance to think about it.
Yeah.
Next
year, hopefully we can do it right and take more time and make more of an event out of it. But it just we avoided the car bombs. But
I did not join them at the social, but I heard some things about some Irish car bombs. I didn't join.
Some guys were a little slow moving on Saturday morning.
Yeah, they were not. Even Jerry was like, I am not doing good right now.
We won't name names, but some things were done, and some boys were hurting the next day.
Yeah, I was glad that we had a paramedic there with some Advil because those boys were hurting. They were hurting bad.
Yeah.
But don't worry, nobody was actively intoxicated on the fire ground, and there was no alcohol being consumed on the fire ground.
Nope.
Just for point of reference, that was not happening on the grounds.
That was after the lecture, before any of this started. A day before.
It was. We had a great time. I know we all kind of were standing around like last year. I think Gino said they had 30 fires. This year we had 70.
Yep. It was amazing. And like we've said all episode long, make it to next year's because it's going to be bigger. It's going to be better. There will be more lectures. There will be more knowledge, more classes, more opportunities. It's going to be insane. I know for a fact that it's going to be bigger and better in every single aspect. So,
and I mean, we've talked about the instructors and the classes the whole show so far, but I'm going to give a huge shout out to the students. They showed up, they made drives that were between anywhere from 2 to 24 hours. They geared up, they packed up like they were going to a regular call. They gave it their all. It was fantastic to watch guys younger than me to guys that were in their 50s.
Yeah. In
packs and just going to work.
Yeah.
Like it was fantastic to watch. That just shows how far reaching the brotherhood is, and it shows how far reaching the love for this job is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because we all know anybody in law enforcement, in emergency medicine, in EMS, in fire, if we wanted to make money, we are in the wrong damn job.
Yep.
But it's because we love to help people and we love to do this job is why we do it. Yeah. Same way Max and I, like, we don't charge a dime for what we do for Gino and for the Fools because, I mean, one, we love Gino. I mean, he's a fantastic dude. And that's not why we do it. If we did it for money, we could be making a lot of money, but it's not why we do it.
That's not where the business side of my business is. That's purely just the operation of having some fun and getting out there.
Yeah, I've never charged a dime for what I do. I mean, the most I've ever charged for is like big ass prints that people wanted or departments wanted, but
yeah, that's more just covering physical costs, but it's just fun. I don't know how much more there is to say. Be there next year because it was a kick-ass weekend.
We'll have to get Gino and Jason and Doogie and those guys on and talk about the actual classes.
Yep.
But I don't know. I mean, it was a fantastic weekend. I know we missed you guys. I hope you missed us.
Yep. We will be back more regularly.
Quick little snippet spot. This is not the helmet that I was wearing that weekend. My little salad bowl. So this is
it's your old boy.
This is retired. This is my retired lid from California.
Which fits in California.
Ed at Fan for Life Decals made these sides. You can tell she's seen better days. She's a little beat up. J5 Fire Lids made the liner.
Upside down.
Fuck. I forget everything's opposite in this fucking thing.
Upside down.
J5 Fire Lids made the liner. It was super comfortable. You got to get one of his liners for yours, dude. It is so comfortable.
Yeah.
This helmet was retired Reason being because it's really special to me because my two late brothers, Adrian and Cannon, their initials are actually stamped into the back of this shield. Yeah, they're still there. They are stamped into the back of the shield. So they are. I don't take this helmet out anymore for that reason because I don't want that to get ruined.
It's a salad bowl.
And it's my salad bowl.
Yeah.
But though Phoenix does make some great products, it's protected my head on more than one occasion. Their TL2s are great. I mean, Walker's got one. He loves it. Yep. I think Gino has a TL2 too.
He might, yeah.
I think his is a TL2. I mean, they make some great leather. It's a great... I will say one more thing about Mayhem. Cody Trestrail, day one of HOT, was wearing Dan boots and an old school leather with Bergs. Yes. And I was like, fuck yes, Cody.
Yes.
And I looked at him, I was like, that is the most FDNY thing I have ever seen in my entire life.
Damn right.
It was a fantastic weekend. I mean, like I said, there's nothing else more we can say.
Yeah, they're lost for words. Just be there.
I'm going to talk to Max about this a little bit more, but I would love to have one of you guys on the show. Email us, DM us. Maybe in a couple of weeks, we'll put out a raffle. You can come be a guest on the show. You can talk with us. You can talk about.
If you are a photographer, if you are in the emergency services, especially if you have some cool or badass stories or funny stories or just interesting job stories, this is a podcast about emergency services and photography because that's us. But it's about emergency services as a whole. So if you've got some fun stories you want to share with people, if you want to come on, have some fun with us, we want to turn this into a bigger thing. So definitely we'll try to make that happen soon. Anything at all, questions, suggestions, anything related to the show, our work, or Mayhem, hit us up in the DMs. We're always down to earth and ready to have a conversation.
I mean, it might take us, I know for me, it might take me a little while to respond because, again, I am in paramedic school, so a lot of my time is taken up because of that. When I'm not in class or at a clinical, I am studying. Like the whiteboard in front of my desk is written with the lidocaine drug card right now. It is just, I will tell you all you prospective EMTs out there that want to be paramedics, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. But paramedic school, I mean, I am a horrible test taker. I was not a great student. But paramedic school has been a very fulfilling experience, but it is also very difficult. I have come home and fallen asleep on the floor in my living room in my boots.
Yeah.
I'm so tired. But if you want to do it, do it. You can always reapply if you fail out. You can always go again. There is nothing stopping you from going and applying. A lot of states, a lot of departments are paying for guys to go to paramedic school. So please, if you want to do it, do it. It's a fantastic experience. And I'm going to give a shout out to my instructor, Fidel Garcia. He's been in EMS for better part of 4 years. He instructs here at Colorado Mesa University for their program. And it is a fantastic program. He's tough. He's a tough instructor. But he really cares about the job. He cares about his students, and it is a really good program. And with that, Max, unless you have anything else,
that's the episode.
I'm Brian. This is Max. This has been Frames and Flames. We're glad to be back. We missed you guys, and hopefully we'll be able to get some more episodes out soon. Max.
Sorry. We'll see y'all later, though.
See y'all later. Have a great night.
The Frames and Flames podcast is produced in collaboration between 1076 Media and 760 Fire Photo. For more information on the show and to find out about future guests and episodes, please check out our social media at TEN76 Media and 760 Fire Photo. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.